The New Zealand government is giving us a first look at the May 30 budget. It's the first budget for Finance Minister Nicola Willis as the country arguably faces the toughest economic conditions since the 1980s or 1990s. I'm in Christchurch this week, where the government has been making a pre-budget defence announcement worth $520 million. Here's what we know so far. New Zealand Defence Minister Judith is unlocking a boost in defence spending. As tension rises in the Indo-Pacific, New Zealand is investing hundreds of millions of dollars in defence upgrades over 4 years.
Our people are at the front line of New Zealand's security in an increasingly unstable world.
40-year-old Unimog and Pinzgauer trucks will be replaced.
It's a little old, isn't it?
Navigation and communication equipment will be upgraded on helicopters.
Their replacements will have integrated communications that will enhance interoperability with our regional and global partners such as Australia, Canada, the UK and the US.
$148 million will go towards pay boosts for service personnel.
And we know the Defence Force has been facing challenges in recent years, especially around personnel attrition.
$90 million of the $520 million boost is from savings made from cuts elsewhere in the New Zealand Defence Force.
A new defence capability plan to be fast-tracked and will shape the government's investment intentions for defence through until 2040.
Defence is one area bucking the trend as the government searches for savings. For more on the New Zealand government's military cash splash, I caught up with Defence Minister Judith Collins. New Zealand Defence Minister Judith Collins, welcome to New Zealand Edition.
Well, it's great to be here.
You've been talking a lot about defence interoperability, particularly around working with Australia. So how will this pre-budget announcement help with that?
Well, it will certainly help when it comes to the vehicles and also communication systems, but it also says to Australia, which is our ally, our one ally, but also very close friend, that we are serious about defence. It's our very first defence budget, and as you know, it's going to be a pretty tough budget, but what it says is we're serious, we've got the defence capability plan coming out, we've got to do our part.
Just on your point there about being serious on defence, you're currently cutting thousands of public sector jobs. So the government heading into this budget really is counting every single dollar. So why is defence that exception?
We can't really have economic security if you don't have national security, and defence is an integral part of that. We also live in a very challenging geopolitical environment at the moment, and I also believe very strongly, if you look at the attrition rates, defence has been doing it hard for the last few years, and it's very important that we keep people, get the right people, train them well, and that we can in fact be a good ally and partner with Australia and our other friends.
You talk about a really tough geostrategic environment at the moment, and we've seen just in the last week China and Australia, those tensions rise as well. What is New Zealand's role within this tough geostrategic environment, do you think?
Well, we're a really good actor in the world. We're a good player, and people know that. So we are obviously supporting Australia and US and others when it comes to matters wherever it is. Militarily wise, we've been working with the UN, where we've got troops in South Korea. We've got people all around the world, the Red Sea, we've been a partner there. So wherever we can, we want to be part of solutions. And in addition, next week I'll be visiting our troops who are training Ukrainian soldiers to go to the front line. These are some of the things we do all over the world, and we're just a very good actor.
Just last week we spoke to New Zealand Prime Minister Christopher Luxon. He spoke about New Zealand calling out China more. Now New Zealand is connecting to like-minded partners across Southeast Asia as well as the US. You talk about countries like the Philippines, where New Zealand is establishing new partnerships, and that area is quite tense in the South China Sea. So as we see these increased tensions within the Indo-Pacific, what is New Zealand's role in that environment?
Well, we're very good friends with China, and particularly to understand is that economically speaking, China is our major trading partner, but at the same time we're very aware of the fact that things are changing in the world. So we always have to work a very a very tight line, and that one is we have security on one side. We are part of Five Eyes. We're very happy to be that, have been over 70 years. And so nobody should be surprised by the fact that we work with our military ally, Australia, and our like-minded Five Eyes friends.
You talk about increasing New Zealand's GDP spend on defence. What will the Defence Force look like at the end of your term in government in the next 3 years?
Well, I think we're around 1% now, but we are going to have to look at where we go from here. So that's why the Defence Capability Plan, which I brought forward from the end of the year to June to next month, so we can look at where we're going to have to spend, and also how we can get more effective and more interoperable, particularly with Australia. So where it's going to be in 3 years' time, well, it's going to depend quite a lot on the Defence Capability Plan, but there's always going to be improvements.
And just lastly, I want to talk about New Zealand's push to increase innovation. One of the portfolios you look after is technology as well, and we talk about things like the second pillar of AUKUS, which is all about sharing advanced military technologies. Is this an area that New Zealand's going to be further developing?
Well, it is important to note that New Zealand has some excellent technological expertise. We have people who just seem to be geniuses when it comes to technology, and are working with defence as well. So there's going to be some opportunities there. New Zealand's still looking at AUKUS Pillar 2 as to quite what part we could have in it, and obviously no one's invited us yet to join. So these are decisions that the Cabinet will make, and we're going to look at what's in New Zealand's best interests. But as well as that, New Zealand can be a very good supplier of technological know-how to other countries as well.
New Zealand Defence Minister Judith Collins, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.